US employees might see a bump in their salaries next year. Yahoo Finance's Kerry Hannon has all the details for us. Kerry, what do we need to know?
Well, there's a bit of good news for workers. There's a new study just out that shows that the average pay bump for next year is going to be 4.6%. Now, this is kind of a big deal. Some will, on the high end, it may be as much as 5%. But, pay raises have been around 3% for most of the last decade. So it's kind of a significant jump up. This is the highest since 2007, in fact. So what's happening here, Rochelle, is that employers have really been struggling coming out of the pandemic with a very tight job market, right? And so they've been struggling to retain and recruit new workers. And so what has happened is they've realized that because of inflation and because of, which has been very persistent in this tight job market, they have to do something to hang on to workers. Now, well, that's great news. Another study came out yesterday also from the Society of Human Research, Society for Human Resource Management, that shows that, in fact, and those are HR professionals, most employees are looking for, 8 to 10% is what would make them happy. So there's this bit of tug of war going on between what employers are going to offer next year, which is significantly higher than in the past, but what employees really are looking for. And what Shrim found in the second survey is the number one reason people are leaving jobs is because of salary, because of compensation. The second reason is sort of lack of flexibility. Now, we've talked about that before. It's very important. People really thought about that coming out of the pandemic, the need to have more flexibility in the work, and also career development. So those three areas, and in fact, many employers, the study, Shrim study showed that quite a few have started more flexibility, really trying to embed that in their workplaces. But again, this is, is it enough? Is that 4.6% enough? It's good news, but I think workers are still looking for more with inflation and so forth.
Yeah, Kerry, certainly makes a lot of sense given the fact that prices have risen in almost every facet of everybody's lives today. Kerry, there was a new law passed that we talked a lot about in New York City, a pay transparency law. So employers have to include salary ranges on jobs that they do list. How do you see this factoring into these types of conversations and potentially giving the employee a leg up?
I absolutely love it. I got to tell you, this is good news for workers because, it's really, this transparency is truly important when you're negotiating for a new job or when you're in a job and you're trying to figure out what is everyone getting paid around you and are you fairly compensated? So it opens a window. It's not perfect because it's a range, but it certainly is empowering to workers to have this information. We're seeing this pop up in other places in the country as well. So I do think this is positive. It gives you the tools in order to negotiate for more money. The fact that we're seeing these raises, this bump up for 2023, I think employers are realizing that, hey, workers are getting hip to this. They aren't in the dark the way they once were, and this is important, and pay is critical.
We are seeing some employees making those pay ranges super wide, so it can be a bit hard to really gauge it, but lots of great tips as usual. Yahoo Finance's Kerry Hannon, thank you as always.